All right, welcome. Today you have kind of two main objectives, the warm-up and getting your lesson quiz done. So the warm-up, spend, I would say 5-10 minutes here working on the 6 problems and then check them with the rest of this video. So pause the video and then go ahead and check your work using the video. Okay, so as usual, all of the same things still apply, even though I'm not here. Proper mask wearing, cell phones are put away, especially for the lesson quiz. You should have them in your pocket or in your bag. At this point, we're in the middle of class. Here are your answers to the warm-up. So again, using each of the 3 factoring methods we've used so far, GCF, grouping, and difference of squares. So you can check your work here on the screen. Pause the video as you need to. I'll highlight a few things here before moving on to the backside. Make sure, again, when you're taking out GCF, you look for the smallest exponent. So even though the smallest exponent is not in the same term, right, you're still using only an x squared and only a y to the third. So you can check your work there, and then make sure you're keeping track of your signs. For number 2, split it up into 2 groups, take out the GCF from each group, and then again, just remember your matching factor. These have to match. If these don't match, the 5x minus 1s, you have to go back and double check your work. Otherwise, your final answer, just remember this could be flipped around. The second grouping one, the big thing there is making sure you took out a negative with the 8y. Whenever in that second group, remember this is a little trick, if in that second group, if that first term is negative, you've got to take out a negative. Okay. All right, on the back side, difference of squares. These, if you're seeing the pattern, these go pretty quick. Again, remember, you can use your notes. You can use your notes on this lesson quiz. So if you needed to look at your notes to help you with these 3, that's fine. Do that on the lesson quiz as well. So check them out here. Again, just making sure you are splitting up, right? So think of it as a square root. Again, as you're working these out here, if you were to multiply these back together, you should get back to where you started, right? So that would be a way that you could double check your work, right? If you were to go ahead and, for number 4, if you were to multiply this back together, we would have 25x squared minus 30x plus 30x minus 36, right? So I'm just checking my work here. I combine these like terms, they cancel each other out. And that's what we started with, right? That's what we started with up there. So again, you can check your work, or remember, you can use the area model for these as well, if that helps. So for this one, number 5, I would have had 100, a to the 6th there, negative 81 here. And then again, I have to have, it's kind of matching, right? The 2 factors match. The only thing that is different is the sign. So knowing that, I know this has to be 10 and 10, a to the 3rd and a to the 3rd, because when I add the exponents together, I get whatever's inside there, right? And then I know this has to be 9 and 9. One of them has to be negative to get negative 81. And then just double checking, these need to add up to 0. So you have 90, a to the 3rd, negative 90, a to the 3rd, and those add up to 0. Okay. All right, so at this point, a couple of quick things for the lesson quiz. It is, remember, individual work, right? The lesson quiz now is on you and your notes. So asking questions will not help. You need to make sure you are doing as best as you can and get through what you can, right? Do what you can today. No cell phones for music or calculator. Use Desmos for your calculator. Turn in when you're done with the warm-up, the lesson quiz. Turn in to the guest teacher. And then work on the number puzzles that are on the back of the warm-up. I want you to work on those a little bit. That's just getting us ready and getting us some practice for the last type of factoring we're going to do, and that is something that a lot of it's just, can you figure out a bunch of factors and figure out which one then works in the given situation. And so those number puzzles, you have a couple examples here filled out on that page already. But again, the 2 examples you're given, this is the process that we're going to talk about. You're trying to find two numbers that multiply to 24, right? So two numbers that multiply to 24, and then you combine them, whether that's adding or subtracting them, to get 14. So you notice here, what you want to do is start with listing the factors, right? This is just a factor list of 24. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. We've talked about making those already. And then figuring out, in this case, which pair of those multiply or adds up to 14. So 2 plus 12 is 14. The second example you're given, notice that the numbers have to multiply to a negative. So one of the numbers in your factor list is going to have to be negative when you start going through and trying to figure out which of those combinations combine to -5. So notice -4 and 9 multiplied together is -36. When you add them together, for -9, yeah, sorry. When you add them together, you get -5 if you make the 9 negative, right? So notice these two both multiply to -36, but when you combine them together, one of them is positive, the other one's negative. So we want the one that adds up to the -5. So 4 and -9 is your answer there. So you're just trying to get as many of these filled in as you can, and we'll be starting with these a little bit on next class period as well, doing a little practice to get us kind of in the mindset that we need to be in for factoring trinomials. Okay. So at this point, weekly review number 10 is the only other thing to be aware of in Khan Academy. Okay. So good luck on your lesson quiz. Do your best and make sure you get it finished and get some work done on those number puzzles. Have a good day.